Augustine of Hippo, De Magistro, Episode 10. Augustinus, non te ergo movet quod summus magister cum orare doceret discipulos, verba quaedam docuit, in quo nihil alia videtur fecisse, quam docuisse quomodo in orando loqui apporteret? Ariadatus, nihil me omnino istud movet. Non enim verba, sed res ipsas eos verbis docuit, quibus et se ipsi com mona facerent, aquo et quid esset orandum, cum in penetralibus ut dictum est, mentis orarent. So then, ergo, non te movet, does it not bother you, that summus magister, that the great teacher, Christ, when he was teaching his disciples, cum doceret discipulos, when he was teaching his disciples to pray, he taught certain words, verba quaedam, in which words, in quo, he seems to have done nihil aliud, nothing else, than to have taught how, in prayer, it was proper to speak, loqui. So then we see that movet is taking te as its object, and this quod clause is really the subject of movet. Doesn't it bother you the fact that the high teacher, summus magister, masculine singular nominative, meaning Christ, when he was teaching cum doceret, so this is cum plus a subjunctive, it's a cum temporal clause, when he was teaching his disciples to pray. Notice the verb docere, the infinitive here, doceret, the infinitive is docere. It takes an object, discipulos, and an object complement, orare, to teach one person something. When he taught his disciples to pray, he taught specific or certain words, verba quaedam, in which, here we have a neuter singular ablative, which is summarizing an idea, in which teaching he seems to have done nihil aliud, nothing other than, the aliud sets up quam, nothing other than to have taught them, and then we have another relative clause, namely quomodo through apporteret. He taught them how it was proper, how it was appropriate in their praying, to speak, loqui. This is the infinitive, it's a third conjugation deponent verb. Adiadatus now responds, and he says, this fact does not move me, does not bother me, nihil me movet at all, omnino. Istud and nihil is indeclinable, nistud neuter singular nominative, the subject of movet, me, masculine singular accusative, the object, and omnino is an adverb. Clearly it's formed on the adjective omnis. This is a reference, of course, to Matthew chapter 6 and the Lord's Prayer. It does not bother me, says Adiadatus, for it was not the words, but the substance, res ipsos, the very substance that he taught them in words. So eos here refers to discipulos, it's masculine plural and accusative. We see again how the verb docere takes the object, verba and res, and it takes the second object, eos, to teach a person a thing. So he taught not the words themselves, but he was teaching them the actual substance, res ipsas. The substance in words, verbis, words by which, quibus, so verbis is neuter plural and ablativus instrumentalis, ablative of instrument, and then we have the relative quibus, whose antecedent is verbis, by which words they were also reminding themselves, se ipsi cum mona facerent, making themselves aware of from whom they should ask and what ought to be prayed for, when cum they were praying orarent in the innermost places, in penetralibus, as it is said, the innermost places of the mind, mentis.